I'm Jenna with Refurbished at Nap Time, and today I'm going to show you the easiest way to apply decoupage paper to any surface. I'm using Grace on Design's decoupage pack of Vintage Romance. This is a 3-page set. I'm using the smallest 12 by 18 page that comes in the set, and I will be applying it to your standard canvas. I start by doing a test placement of where I want to put my paper so that once I've applied the applicator, I know exactly where I want it to be. I'll be using Gorilla Glue's spray adhesive. This is a heavy duty spray. It can be used indoor, dries clear, and it is also repositional, which is great in case you place it in the wrong spot, which I'm about to show you that I did. I'm starting by just pulling off some extra old glue that had stuck to it. Shake the can and then lightly spray all over your surface. You want to keep about 6 to 8 inches away from it. You don't need an excessive amount of spray or it just becomes way too much. Now you can also spray the back of your paper. It's not necessary, but it does give it a little bit extra glue and a little bit extra adherence. It does say on the back of the can that if you spray on both, it does help it stick better. The first time I laid this down, I didn't get it flat enough and I had to pull it back up, which is great for both products, both Grace on Design and Gorilla Glue's spray, because it was very simple. It did not rip my paper at all, and the glue is still there, didn't dry too fast. This time I started at the top and worked my way down as I was applying it. I then take a brayer tool, which is great because you can roll right over the paper. It doesn't affect it in any way. It helps actually with the way that the canvas presses down into, because it doesn't have a back on it. And I just go up and down, side to side, covering every part, especially your edges. You want to be sure that they have adhered. Then I used a transfer tool. This helps to really push down the decoupage paper into the glue and gives it a very flat surface. So you don't have any of those bubbles that pop up, and it really helps the glue stick to the back of the paper and to get in where the brayer may not have. Again, I'm going over the edges very well to make sure that I've got them all down, because you don't want those to eventually raise up. As long as you've got glue on them, then they should stick. And I'm just going back and forth like I do when you're vacuuming the floors, up and down with a little bit of angle. That way I make sure I cover it all. And you can see how well that went on. I mean, there's no bubbles, completely flat, stuck perfectly to it. Now I'm going to show you how you can actually continue to wrap the paper around the canvas. You don't have to cut, you don't have to sand it off. You can just wrap it all the way around to the back of the canvas and have your image continue on the sides. Spraying on the white part as well as slightly onto your paper, I just wrap it around. And then do the same on the back end and just lay it down flat. Taking my tool and both my brayer, I'm going back over the edges, especially on the corner sections. You want to be sure that the paper has stuck to that area as well, so you don't have a little bit of air underneath. You want to be sure that it all applied correctly. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side as well. I mean, just look how good that went on. It looks like it's actually been painted onto the canvas because it's so smooth. Spraying the white, spraying a little bit of the paper. This time I just went ahead and did the whole back area. Folded over the edge of the corners. This time I'm using the brayer to go back over it. Both tools work perfectly fine. If you only have one, it's okay. And now I've got a smooth adherence to my canvas. And I love that there's no bubbles. This process is much easier for me versus the iron-on or the wet method. I've not had any of these papers come back up from the glue, and I did this entire piece within 5 minutes. You can do this on furniture, you can do this on anything. The glue will eventually become no longer tacky, and you're good to go. You can find more videos and how-to tutorials at refurbishedатnaptime.com, on Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest, or by subscribing to this YouTube channel.